Jason Barnes. I'm 26 years old.
I can do it.
I'm a musician.
I gotta tell him I can't do it.
I was actually born in
You
Guam.
gotta do it. I said, everyone wants to hear your story.
Trying to get my
You have
arm
to get to
charged.
speak.
So I had
You know,
charged
he said,
last
but it's
night.
not, I don't have the practice. I can't talk in front of a crowd. I can't do anything, you know? I said, just go tell your story, you know? And he was amazing.
Everybody can.
He's amazing. And after that, it was like,
So I'm Jason Barnes. I'm 26 years old. I'm a musician. I was actually born in Guam. I have 4 other siblings. 2 of them, my older siblings, were born in Australia. And my younger siblings, one was born in Washington and one was born in Roatan, Honduras. So growing up, I had a lot of ambitions. I once thought I wanted to be an archaeologist. Didn't realize how boring the job would be. I think I kind of wanted to be more of like a Indiana Jones style explorer, which wasn't really realistic. I wanted to be an astronaut at one point in time. You know, typical kid goals. My dad is actually a famous musician in Australia. He's in the Australian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So when I was about 12 years old, I used to watch my dad play guitar a lot, and I really started getting into it, and I was like, I kind of want to do that, and so he bought me a guitar, or gave me one of his old guitars, and started learning how to play guitar when I was about 12 years old, and I didn't really get as good as I had hoped in those couple of years, and then when I was 15, him and my mom bought me a drum kit for Christmas. I had never played drums in my entire life, and the day that I got it, he put on a B.B. King and Eric Clapton album, which is like blues rock, and I was playing grooves like the first day that I got a drum kit, and so that's when I kind of fell in love with the drums and realized like this was my passion. It's probably what I should do, and since then I played religiously every day, had a couple garage bands here and there, and realized that music is what I wanted to do with my life. So when I was 22, I used to clean restaurant exhaust, which is the vent hoods in the kitchen, the ducts and the fans on the roof. I've been doing this job for about 2 years, and I was on a roof in McDonough, Georgia, and it was kind of a wrong place, wrong time, freak accident type of scenario, and I was up on a roof, power lines about, I would say 6-7 feet from me, which again, I've done this job 2 or 3 jobs a day working around power lines. Like I knew safety precautions in this, and I don't really remember any of the accident. I just remember that something had freaked me out. I remember a pink flash, and I yelled to my assistant to get down, and then I woke up in the hospital. And what he said had happened is one of the transformers, I guess, had faulted and exploded. I just happened to be standing right next to it when it did. It hit me, passed through me, knocked my assistant down, but what did the damage to me is that I was standing in a puddle of water with rubber waders on, so the electricity couldn't pass through me. And so when it exits is when it does all the damage. So it exited the whole right side of my body, leg, my face, mainly my arm. I woke up in the hospital about a day or 2 days later out of a coma, looking at myself completely burnt and subconsciously hearing the explosion sound, and I thought that I was in a fire or like a bomb went off or something, and everybody informed me that you were electrocuted. And yeah, I was in the hospital for a little over a month. Did about 7 surgeries trying to save my hand, doing various skin grafts, and after about the 7th surgery, they told me that my ulnar artery, which is what supplies blood to your hand, was non-existent anymore, so my hand was basically dying. And it took a lot of support of my family and friends for me to make the decision to amputate my hand, which I consider myself extremely lucky. Again, the amount of electricity that I took should have killed me, if not turned me into a double, if not quadruple amputee. Most people who take that much electricity lose all 4 of their limbs, end up with some sort of brain damage or heart failure. And I lost my right hand. I was born left-handed, so I consider myself extremely lucky, and it's actually made me who I am today, and so I don't regret it at all. I'm actually glad that it happened, if you will, and that sounds kind of crazy, but I like to be optimistic and try and take the good out of anything bad that happens, which is exactly what I've done. Well, I lost my job. Once I realized that I had to amputate my hand, I was in the hospital still thinking about like everything that I couldn't do. It's like I can't play drums anymore, I can't play piano, I can't play guitar anymore. I'm not going to be able to open drinks without help, or just various things that you think of you would not be able to do without 2 hands. I can't go home and just be a loser and play video games anymore. It's just, everything was just running through my mind, and I fell into like a really deep hole of depression for I would say probably 4 or 5 months, and I ended up losing my house because I couldn't pay for it anymore. I lost my job, and I moved back in with my mother, and she took care of me. And after about a month of doing nothing at my mom's, I got so bored and fed up that I decided to drag my drum kit out of the garage and set it up, and I taped a drumstick to my bloody bandages and started to play drums. And at that moment is when I kind of had a boost of inspiration to realize that I think this is still possible. This is still something that I can do. And so from that moment on, I started trying to develop a drumming prosthetic with my prosthetic company and some friends. And we came up with my first design, and I played with it for a couple of months, and when I felt confident that I was almost playing as good as I once was before, I called my band up and said, hey, let's get the band back together. I applied at Atlanta Institute of Music for drums, and they rejected me because I didn't know how to read music. Not because of my physical capabilities, but because I didn't know how to read, and so did a couple private lessons and was eventually accepted. If the accident wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have had as much drive to get to where I am. It pushed me a lot farther to want to do great things, and a lot of good had come out of it. I've traveled to various places around the world. Istanbul, Australia, Russia, France, many more to come. And so, like I said, I'm actually glad that it happened to me, and I don't know what else I would be doing if it wouldn't have happened. I'd probably be at home working a dead-end job, not really going anywhere with my life. So again, it pushed me to get to where I am.
It's crazy how good that GoPro actually records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you made your drum set not sound like shit.
comes out of depression. You know, negativity brings you nowhere, and so you have to, you know, look for the good and bad things, and that's what I did. And as soon as I started being positive and trying to turn it into something great, it blew up, you know, and my life has been awesome since. So I would say, you know, never give up on your dreams. Nothing, I mean, unless your life is taken from you, I don't think anything is so horrible that you can't overcome and, you know, live your passions out.
We're not your normal American family anyway. Why? Well, one, I've lived out of the country most of my life, and Jason was born out of the country, and we're just not like your traditional American family from the South. Trust me.
Right.
Are we the traditional Southern family?
I know my family.
Southern family, not even close.
No. Jason's one of my babies.
Old ass book.
Like the camera.
Oh, God.
Right?
Look at
Like the real life of Jason Barnes.
Right? That's what he really does.